Hi, Avi. How are you?
Hi, how you doing, Janet?
Yeah, thank you for
From Welling up.
thank you for taking your time to actually come on this particular episode to share your experience and insights at this critical time.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
No
Hope to
problem.
give some value to the people over there
I'm
and
sure.
answer.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. So let me just share today's topic. We have Mr. Avi Liran here with us today.
No, Mister. We is from Israel. We don't use the word Mister. We are approach with a personal name.
Okay.
Whether you're the CEO, the chief of staff, and even the prime minister has a nickname.
Oh, really? I see.
We
Okay.
call him Bibi. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Avi here with us today, and he will share with us on his experiences on his entrepreneurship journey and when he experienced challenges in life as well as failures, how he overcomes them. And that's why the title Emotional Pain Happens to All of Us, and it's okay. He will share within the episode premiere itself some of the techniques that he utilizes to help himself, and hopefully it will help you in the audience as well. Avi, we recorded this episode actually more than a month ago. So, what has happened so far? It's been about a month. What are you currently doing?
Well, I was locked in heaven in dwelling up, so I can go to forest walks every day. So I feel blessed and grateful in comparing to everybody else, and I can sympathize with you if you are for many months in your home and you get a little bit nuts and edgy, and maybe that's good for you actually. And you're going to look many years from now and say, how did I evolve? And when you're going to go out of it, are you going to stay the same, or are you going to be a new person? What did you learn? In my previous workshops, I was asking the audience, imagine that you are in the island of your dreams. And then I get them to feel that it's the best place in the world, but there's no internet and there is nobody else there. And then I tell them you become the richest person on earth because you find a gold mine and diamond quarry and you're a trillionaire. And then you stay 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, and then a cargo ship comes from the horizon. You don't know where it's going and who is there. Are you going to stay in the island, have everything you wanted for yourself alone, or are you just going to go to the unknown? And I asked the audience, if you want to go to the unknown, you can't take anything with you. Please stand up because you need to catch the raft that you build in order to go there. And if you want to stay in the island, retired, nothing you need to do, you're full, good to go for your life, nothing to worry about. Stay seated. And you know what? 95% of the audience stand up is because we are geared to connect. That's a common purpose that we have. Now, the question for you, I don't need to say it anymore because you're confined in your home and you're just waiting to go out. Now, the question is, how are you going to go out? Are you going to go out and remembering that you missed this? Or a few months later, like SARS that we experienced in Singapore, you're going to go back to normal life and somebody will annoy you. But that person, that stranger, is someone that you so much want to connect. Now, will you remember that? So if you ask me what bothered me in this month, it's just a thought. What is this new normal? Are we going to be the same? And my fear is that we're going to go back to the same. And I hope that the new normal will bring the best of us so we could live life in a delightful way and see who can we delight today? How can I delight myself and others? And if that's going to be the new normal, great. But if you're going to come back where you were, I don't care if you're 60% digital, 70, 80, 100% work from home, but you want to connect. You want to be the best of yourself. You want to be kind to nature. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically I know I took a spin on the answer, but I was thinking a lot about that. And of course, like every other speaker, going online, serving the customer, helping, creating material like what you do.
Yep, thanks. So we have Bijon. I think I'm not sure whether I got his name correct. He says, "Hi, Avi." I think he's coming from
Bjorn,
the Philippines.
oh, an amazing guy, one of the best coaches in Philippines.
Yes, yes. So we have usually in these leadership during crisis series, we have audiences actually worldwide. We have people from Philippines. I've had guests from Korea. I've had guests from Malaysia, Indonesia as well, and Thailand. So thank you all for joining us. And if you just join us, today we have Avi here with us. Although he's based in Singapore, but currently he's actually in Australia, and he was sharing with us about his experiences and the forest itself, and how he felt that he's lucky compared to us. If I'm in Singapore, I have not really gone out of my place because we have been advocated not to. So I understand exactly what he says. The urge to go out is definitely there. So in today's episode, which was recorded about a month ago, Avi shared his experiences and how he deals with challenges in life. I think in terms of these particular current crisis, a lot of us, especially the small business owners, will be hit hard, especially if you are on the retail front or you need to meet up with customers. And I think besides looking at from a business point of view, it is always crucial to address the internal portion, which is what I think he is really, really strong in. So, Avi, I was actually just quite curious. Why did you, because you do delivering delight programs, why did you choose this topic?
Since I was a child, I found that when people laugh, I enjoy. When people enjoy, I enjoy. And I think that researching this, we found that that's how we wired everybody. And it's a strong calling for me because I enjoy when other people enjoy. And because it's innate for each one of us, I think that when you tap into your delight, you don't want to live a normal, quiet, nothing life. You want to enjoy life, and delight is a great way because it stands on two pillars. One is acceptance. You accept what other people are. You don't try to change them. You try to bring the best in them. And the second one is contribution. And if you do two of these together, you're gonna enjoy because contribution is just like a hug. If I hug you, you will never know who is giving and who is receiving. And when I found out since early age that everybody enjoys when you hug them emotionally, not necessarily physically, don't forget physical distance at this point of time,
Okay.
but it doesn't mean social distance. So you could still delight people. Yeah, delight is the essence of life. Why would you like to live life without being delighting and being delighted?
Interesting. We are 1 minute away from the episode premiere. There's one other question that I would really like to ask you, but I think I'm going to ask a little later. Maybe when you come back, you can answer this. It has to do with, I think, in a lot of the times and corporate, it's always about the top line, the bottom line. Therefore, when you're talking about delight, how do you then translate this actually into business terms? So we'll get back to this answer after the episode premiere. Avi, I'm going to hide you for a little while and I'll show and play the episode premiere. Hi, welcome to the Leadership During Crisis Online Summit series. Thank you for taking your time to watch these episodes. Please remember to subscribe at our YouTube channel. We will be releasing the episodes 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesday, Friday at 2 p.m.
It's my privilege to invite the next speaker, who is the keynote speaker, Mr. Avi Liran.
If you have rules that don't delight, change the rules. Do you want to know what it's all about? For the past 10 years, I've been researching, implementing, and practicing delight. But
Avi, have you been affected emotionally by the challenges that you have experienced in life?
Yes, of course. And I think that everybody is affected emotionally.
Can you give people some tips on how you can actually climb out of a situation like that?
Well, I can tell you something that people are going to remember because it's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And another short story is last June, somebody stole my bag in Madrid. And I lost everything. I lost my passport, I lost my computer, I lost my money. And lucky for me, I believe in having two phones and I have two passports. But at the same time, it was devastating because I felt so stupid. Everybody tells you in Madrid, take really good care of your bag. And what was I thinking? And you know, the first thing that happened when we make mistakes, we tend to be so hard on ourselves. I guess in every person's mind, you have a chief critic officers that tell you how bad you are. And that may not be the whole truth. So what I did, I saw that the 20 over people that were my hosts in Madrid were extremely worried and pretty ashamed that it happened to me in the restaurant where they hosted me. So I told them, let me tell you a story. My business partner is 84 years old this year, Lenny. He had a problem a few years back that is called carpal tunnel syndrome, where the blood doesn't flow into the hand. And you wake up in the morning and it's so painful. So he goes, "Aye!" So if you are in the audience, can you help me and do this with me? And do, "Aye!" And this is what exactly I did to all the 20 people. I said, please stand up and do, "Aye!" And they did. And then I said, but Manny is the happiest person in the world. And he doesn't like to stay unhappy. So he looked in the mirror and he converts the pain into a Mexican song. And he goes, "Ay, ay, ay, ay." This ritual helps me immediately to get perspective, to vent the pain. Pain happened, and it's okay. It's okay to feel the pain. It's okay to feel bad. Like the weather, pain doesn't stay for a long time unless you insist. The weather, the storm will go. No storm, no tsunami, no SARS, and not even Corona will stay for the rest of our life. They're going to pass. Unless you insist of taking the cloud and put it on your head so it's going to rain and rain and rain. Let go. I'm happy to share with your viewers that I am a human being. As a human being, I have emotions. Statistically, it's funny that it says that women are prone twice as much for depression. However, statistic says that men commit suicide 4 times more than ladies. And maybe one of the reasons is that ladies can talk about their emotions, and we as males typically go back to our cave and we don't talk too much and we don't have the myriad of emotion to talk about. A book that really helped me at time that I was total loss emotionally and I was destroyed and I even was depressed was Daring Greatly. It was kind of a Bible of revival of myself. You know, they say that the problem of many is the suffering of fools. But when I realized that almost everybody is vulnerable, almost everybody suffers from being too perfectionist and too hard on themselves, at that time, it was good to know that it's humanly so. So if you feel bad about the crisis, losing your money, and I lost as well, maybe not as much as you did, then you're in good company. The second thing is when we feel bad, we try to portray that we feel good and we become inauthentic and we try to numb our feelings so we don't have to visit the pain. But when that happens, it doesn't only numb your pain, it also numbs your joy. And then you learn in this book, what do wholeheartedly people do in order to have a better way that they can handle things, and then you learn from them. And lastly, you'll expect to be happy all the time. People will lie to you if they say that they're always happy. It's impossible. Only dead, delusional, drunk, forgetful, lunatics and liars are always happy. Lenny and Matthew Ricard, when he meditate into fMRI, that see that the happiness area in his brain is illuminated the most.
A friend of mine named Chip Conley, who is also a great mentor of mine, wrote a book called Emotional Equations. And he says that you could change emotion like you change colors. If you take red and blue, it makes purple. So one of the things that people have at these times is anxiety. And if you look at the equation in the middle, it says anxiety equal uncertainty times powerlessness. So what you could do when you feel anxiety because of a situation, first, what can you be certain of? And a lot of the certainty is what you can do. What are your strengths? The things that you could do differently? What are other people that are in your industry doing differently? Maybe it's time for change. And when you reduce your uncertainty and focus on what you can do, the number will go from maximum to below 1. And if you look at powerlessness, I would recommend that you come to an agreement with the universe. Say, what I will do my best to change, but whenever my best is not good enough and I can't change it, I have to accept it, and I can focus on the thing that I can do. So outsource the thing that you cannot change. You cannot change what the government will do at times of crisis. And not only at time of crisis, when I have my workshops, I do this all the time. We just did it yesterday morning when we had a new person coming to our team. Yes, I recruit at time of crisis because I think it's an opportunity. And what we did, we found a feeling on the wheel, and then we say, I feel like this. And then I say, my expectation from today is, and then my commitment for today is that. And you could go and Google the wheel of emotions and take a look and check with yourself, how do I feel? And as a leader, if you can talk to the people that are working with you and say, I feel a little bit of anxiety, I feel a little bit sad. When you could come up and share something and be transparent, you're going to feel better, they're going to feel better, you're going to be authentic.
What would be the 3 things someone must do right now?
I would say the first thing is look inside yourself. There's a lot of goodness there, and observe the play in your brain. In a chapter that I'm writing now, it's called The Board Directors of My Mind, or The Voices in My Head. I have to decide which one. Mm-hmm. And we all have many voices, and some voices hijack ourselves. But if you could label and see who is there talking, is there the victim in your mind that is talking, that somebody cheated you and you had a problem? Is it the chief criticizing officer? Is it your ego talking? When you identify the person, the personality within you that is talking, you could see whether they report to you or you report to them. I think you need to understand the difference between feedback and criticism, especially when you talk to yourself, because you are listening. Feedback is when you give yourself ideas how to do things better, and there is an upside to the feedback. Criticism is putting you down, telling you what you did worse without giving you any kind of hope and any kind of suggestion how to do differently. And I suggest that you look very carefully at what thoughts you produce. Your thoughts will create your emotions and your feelings, and your feelings will create your behavior. Take a position and say, I know who you are. You are the chief criticizing officer. I want the chief feedback officer. Can you tell me the same thing with an upside? It's one thing that I would suggest. This is the essence of what I work in. I help people, I help leaders and managers to deliver delight. And what is the core of delivering delight? What is the one action, the one mindset that if you do it, no matter of the time, unconditionally, consistently, continuously, you will gain more trust, you will gain influence, you become accepted and feel sense of belonging in the community that you're doing that, and you're going to feel happier. Again, what is the one action, which is one attitude, it's one word, that if you do it unconditionally, consistently, and continuously, You will earn trust, gain influence, feel sense of belonging, and be happier in the quickest manner. It's contribution. That today you could be useful. You're going to transform from helpless to helpful. And there's huge science about what happened when we behave in generosity to others and we give to others. And yes, even though you don't have much, sharing the little that you have will make you feel important in your own eyes. So that's my second suggestion. The first one is watch what you're thinking and identify the voices, take control. The second one is have a mindset of contribution. And the third one is awaken the lion within you to protect you in these times. Put boundaries not only to your negative thoughts, but also to people that try to take advantage of you. However, I can tell you, I'm not as great in that yet, because some people, when I try to put my boundaries, people say that I'm too aggressive. So I declared 2020 as my year of grace. So if you look at this small thing, it's my earpods, and my name is not Grace, but I put it so every day I'm gonna remember that I need to be graceful when I give feedback, not to hurt other people. It's okay to bring your lion, to make sure that people are not taking advantage of you, but at the same time, don't make them fall, don't insult them, don't be too harsh on them. When I do that, I feel really terrible, and it's work in progress for myself. Maybe the 3.5 thing that I will tell you, forgive yourself. For goodness sake, you're human. You're gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, and I learn from them. If you remember one sentence that I said, you are refined, not defined by your mistakes, your failures, your adversities and challenges.
Hi, Avi.
I kind of like him.
Can you remember what you said about a month earlier when we recorded this session?
Yeah, basically, I guess that this is kind of a thing going in my life, is a theme in my life. So if you wake me up in the middle of the night and you say, what is the one thing? I'll tell you.
Okay, I see. Now, for those who just join us little later, basically we have Avi. We just watched an episode where he shared how he deals with challenges in life. So right now, while we're waiting for the questions to come in, because there's a bit of lag. So if you want to key in your questions, if you're coming in from the desktop on YouTube, please key in the questions on the chat box on the right-hand side. Do log in into YouTube. If not, you will not be able to key in your questions. If you're coming in from your mobile, the chat box is actually at the bottom of the screen, so you can key in your questions there. So while we're waiting for the questions to come in, Avi, so I will come back to the question that I asked you a little earlier. Now, the thing is, I think as before the I think COVID-19 happened, a lot of organizations are under a lot of pressure to deliver profits, to deliver their promises to shareholders. So there were a lot of structural changes. Now, in a situation like that, right, how do you then speak to someone about delivering delight? What does it mean actually for an organization?
So what is the alternative to deliver delight? The alternative is to be transactional. And we see 4 kind of cultures. We see a culture that is super transactional. We see a culture that is cordial. We see on the other side, we see culture that is very lovey-dovey, but nothing gets done. So the soft spot in between is delightful culture. Now, at this moment, it's a market where more people need work, and the employer can be having lots of people that they can take. But good people are good people, and talent is scarce resource. And if you have a choice, the better talent you are, the more choice you have. So if you go to a place where the boss is abusive and toxic and the culture is terrible, and you're a great talent, wouldn't you be tempted to go to work for another company that would say that, wow, you're a great talent, come to work with us? So the better you are, the more opportunities you are, and companies that are great, they want you. So what's your alternative? You want to be with bad culture? You want to not maximize the potential of your people, and then you lose a lot. So when I ask people, all right, I ask a very simple question. Let's say that you work with a leader that is very transactional, deliver results, but he doesn't care about you at all. The majority of the people in the room will say, I will give maybe 20% effort or 30%, and the ethical people that come to work will say 60, 70. And there was a research that was published in Harvard Business Reviews in 2009 that measured 60,000 people. And they found out that the answer is 14, 1-4. So you're losing 86% of discretionary effort. And then they ask them, so what happens if you have a leader that is lovey-dovey, very caring, very friendly, but does not deliver results? You know, the lovey type, sayang sayang, as we say in Asia. Majority of the people surprisingly say, oh, 50%, 80%, I'm going to go with the friendly guy. But the answer of the 60,000 people were only 12%, even lower than the transactional guy.
Okay.
And it makes sense, you know, because I'm an officer in the army, and I can tell you, I'd rather follow an officer that would lead me to safety in peace, even if he's a maniac, than to go to a lovey-dovey guy that is lost and we're all going to get killed.
That's true.
Now, what happened when you put the 14 plus 12? It's not 26. You have a multiplier. Because when you combine the brain with the heart, you get 72%.
Okay.
And if you don't understand that and you decide, okay, I'm just going to go for profit. If you want to go for profit, you want people to give you fantastic customer service. All right. You want to create delightful customer experience. Why? Because you want to protect your market share. You want to increase your market share, and you want to create advocates. But that cannot happen consistently unless you have delighted employees that are super engaged, passionate. They want to work so much and serve. If they're not, it's not going to be consistent. And that can only happen if you have delightful culture and if you have delightful leaders that are leading with values, joy, and care. And that's where I work. I work with the leader at the bottom.
That's great. Now, let's switch gears a little, and let me ask you, how do we then use this concept, like in trying times like this, where a lot of times, most of the things that you're listening is actually all the bad news. Some small businesses, expenses are going out, but there's not enough cash flow coming in. I know you mentioned contribution is one of it, but how do we take even the first step before moving our thoughts towards the contribution bit?
There are many things and many experts that will tell you how to manage your expenses and how to make sure that you're not bleeding on the other side. Whatever you don't need, let go. And if you need to let go of stuff, do it in a dignified way. A good company to watch is Airbnb, how they had to lay off people and how gracefully they did that. So you might need the talent in the time to come. Another way is to think, what can I do and what kind of opportunities are coming in this crisis? If you have a restaurant and you didn't go for delivery, you just closed part of your business. And I heard about a pizzeria that was doing some new things as well. I don't remember it well. Never mind. Think how you could evolve and do new things. At the same time, the same day will pass. I remember in 1983, first day in officer course, they put all of us down -3 degrees, no food, no sleep. And majority of the people were very angry, upset, and feeling very irritated. There were 2 people that were enjoying all the time and singing all the time. We had the same no food, we had the same -3 degrees, and we were freezing. But what we did, we helped everybody else to make their tent as well, and we got warm about that. And we found friendship. Renon and myself, the same person, is a friend of mine for the rest of my life. So the same time of problems will go whether you're going to smile or whether you're going to cry. One will make you lose hope. One will make you put in your body all the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, and you're going to feel terrible and tired. One will energize you. I'm not saying being delusional, but in the same way that you're doing all the prudent things that you need to save your business, do it with a smile. As a leader, bring hope. Look at the vision. What can you do? Now, a lot of people are going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, befriend yourself. You are listening to your own thoughts. And as an entrepreneur, you know this. Everybody told you, don't be an entrepreneur, go take a safe job. But you didn't, because you have this thing inside you and the passion. You want to do it. This is your time. This is your challenge. Continue going. Look at what you want to do. See how you can get there. This COVID will not stay for life. Plan it well. Space your savings. Make sure that you could survive, and be kind to people. And you know what? Actually, one of the things that we did a charity run, and we put all of our system in order to help to feed people in Manila. And Janet, thank you. You were one of the great donors for that drive.
No,
So I appreciate that.
always. Yeah.
At any given time, you could help somebody else with your talent. It doesn't have to be just with your money. You could help somebody else.
Yes, that I totally agree. I think from my point of view, no matter how difficult life is, I think you rightly pointed out, because of the step that you take to contribute or help someone, when the thank you comes, it makes you feel good, no matter how tough it is, and then takes more steps to move towards where we want to go. Because I think like we discussed yesterday, I don't think COVID will pass, but it will take some time before economy goes back to normal. So all of us, before we went live, we're talking about the new economy itself. So the next question I'd like to ask you would be, what are you doing or preparing yourselves from your business point of view to tap on the opportunities that will come about? Like you said, it will no longer be the same as before.
I actually afraid that it's going to be the same as before.
You think so?
And it's just time before it's going to be the same way as before in many, many areas. And I think in the wrong areas where we're not going to be kind to nature. If you look now in India, you could see the Himalayas. From LA, you could finally see mountains. And we are polluting our way. It's like nature give us a warning. It's like a yellow card before you're going to get the red card to go out of the game. And I'm really, really afraid that we're going to go to normal. I think that we need to bring the better version of ourselves as we go out. Better version of kindness to other people, of compassion, of empathy, of acceptance. And it's interesting, there is a great doctor, Zach, I forgot his family name. I just watched yesterday a monologue that he gave. He gave palliative care in the ICU, and he saw 3 people dying in the same day and resuscitate them on the same day. And the odds is only 6% will survive. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that they told him as they woke up is, "Why did you wake me up? It was a great place, a white place, and I was accepted." And if you think about it, everybody you're going to meet in your life, including of yourself, has the innate desire to be accepted. Are we going to be accepting, or are we going to go out of this and say, "Oh, he is a foreign worker. Oh, he is in this color. He is in this faith. She is in that preference," or whatever? Or are we going to be inclusive and kind? Are we going to change ourselves? I'm more concerned about that because I've seen SARS, I've seen many other things and many crises, financial crisis. I was drowning 3 times and we come back. But are we going to change ourselves to be kinder to ourselves and to this universe. Are we going to plant trees? Or are we going to see what's happening now in Amazonas and say, okay, it doesn't affect me? We need to learn from this COVID that we are all the same and the virus doesn't care who we are. So we better be together than be separated.
That's true. Definitely. I think I was just talking right at the beginning, we were just chatting with my son because not long ago we watched the show. I don't know whether you watched the show, The Avengers. So we had Thanos in there. And then with a snap of his fingers, he says the earth needs to be balanced. So we were just like saying this is something similar.
Yeah, it makes you think, who was the villain?
Yeah.
Was he the villain where he tried to save Earth and actually he didn't do it for any kind of personal gain? He just went to the farm to farm because he knew that it's not sustainable. Are we going to go out of the crisis thinking just how many flights are we going to take? How many vacations are we going to get? Well, there's nothing wrong with internal tourism. Yes, I encourage you to go and spend some time, but I think that we're going to see a little bit less travel, hopefully. And I think that we're going to see, everybody tells you you're going to be more online. But at the same time, we crave to meet other people. People need to fall in love. They need to meet somehow.
That's true.
People need to eat. People need to buy new homes. So
now,
don't be too concerned about the new normal. Just ask yourself, what is the best version of myself I'm going to bring to make it a better normal? Not new normal, better normal.
So now, Avi, you also shared earlier on that you came back from, I think, 3 financial crises that brought a lot of things down. So besides actually be kinder to yourself, what would be the 3 key tips for anyone who's actually in the audience who needs to basically recover, besides understanding that we need to be kinder to us? 3 tips.
Oh, 3 tips. All right. Let me see. First, I don't know about you, but if you're an entrepreneur and you don't hustle, you're not going to make it. Maybe it's 1 tip in 3 different ways. Hustle, hustle, hustle.
Okay.
You have to hustle it at this time. So when I lost my position as CEO of a fund, I need to hustle. And then I hustled and went, and Singapore Telecom became my client. And together we did 9 investments in startups. But if I didn't hustle and just waited and say, oh, God, please save me. God say, you hustle, I'll help. You really need to do that, to hustle and think about new ways and be creative. And by the way, if you need some advice about creativity, I have 100 ideas a minute. Maybe 1 is good, 99 are not, but one might be a touchdown. Think on different ways of doing things, and don't. You know what an Israeli hears when you say no, you can't do it? No for us is abbreviation of next opportunity. You block an Israeli from the door, we're going to come up from the window. You close the window is closed, we're going to come from the back door. The back door is closed, we're going to go up and come up by the chimney. The chimney is closed, we're going to dig underground. So if you have this mindset, I'm going to make it, and you hustle for it, you're going to make it.
Yes. I remember because I was actually in a talk conference where the rest of the presenters were from Israeli, and then the sentence that I learned from there was that failure is actually the mother of success in what they all believe, because they were all the IT software technology startups. So hustle is.
We love problems, because if you have a problem, then as an entrepreneur, we can find a solution.
That's true. Yeah. So we have a comment actually from UH Lee, which was quite interesting. He said Thanos didn't think far enough and was too obsessed with his own ideas. He should have snapped his fingers and doubled the amount of resources in the universe. Unfortunately, though, I don't know about Avi. From my point of view, sometimes we talk about balance. My other practice is actually metaphysical. So everything is about balance. So if they threw up even more resources, then there wouldn't be a balance. This happened because the earth needs to find balance. Avi, do you have any comments that you like to point out?
First, I like controversy, so thank you, Mr. Lee or Miss Lee, for what you say. Let's think about it. What comes to mind is a beautiful project in Thailand. If you go to Bangkok, try to have dinner in a restaurant that is called Cabbage and Condoms. And you're going to see there a lot of funny condoms over there, but there is a social message. What the tycoon did, he went to the north of Thailand where there was uncontrolled population growth. And what he did, he taught people how to plant cabbages and he gave them condoms for free. And then the expansion of, sometimes little girls before they're 18 giving birth and they shouldn't, and uncontrolled growth of population, that's not what you want because these people are born into poverty. So if you give them help how to cultivate the land and make a living well, and if you show them that you don't have to make 10 kids, it's okay to have 1, 2, or whatever. We have enough resources now, but if we're going to be exploding beyond, that's not right. No, I'm not advocating for killing people. I don't want war, and I don't want another COVID-19. However, we need to be smart, and we need to do something. You know that every human being consumes 7 trees a year. The toilet paper, and by the way, what happened with the toilet paper? Why did we rush to buy toilet paper? Now you have houses that have rooms with toilet paper. Every person consumes 7 trees a year. If you are not planting 7 trees a year, you are a taker. And that's where Thanos should take a look at you and say, give back, plant trees. All right? So when you look at yourself and make yourself sustainable, that's the answer to Thanos. Make yourself sustainable. Make your carbon footprint 0 or positive, but not negative. That's the way.
We have another question from Carolyn. So I will read it. Hi, Avi. In your opinion, what mistakes are acceptable that you can forgive yourself? Is there such thing as an unacceptable mistake to you?
I think that all of us developed an ability to really be hard on ourselves. I think that the worst time that I'm really unhappy with myself is when I repeat a mistake, when I procrastinate, when I do not live to my own potential. But staying there is the mistake. Staying there at the feeling of judgment. Now, do you like when people judge you? No, you don't. Do you like to stay next to people that are negative and toxic and tell you off all the time? No, you don't. It stinks. It's like a skunk. You run away. Why would you be your own skunk? What about encouraging yourself to say, here is a mistake. Now, what did I learn? What am I going to do differently? How am I going to transform? Focus 99% of your energy. This is, how do you think the Israelis, if you think about it, 75 years ago, our race was half extinct in the Holocaust. We were the poorest of the poorest. And now you have, when you look at Israel, it is a #1 country in startup per capita in the entire world. How does it happen? Because we didn't take our sufferings and the mistakes that we had into something that we dwell in it. I'll give you a metaphor, all right? Shit happens. You just put your feet on a dog poo. Now, what do? You just wipe the shoe in the grass, don't you? And then you wash the shoe. You don't take the shoe off, put on your hand, and say, manure, let's put it. And guys, look at me. Now, why other people will run away? Why are you going to become depressed? Because you took it there. Or another thing, have you ever driven behind a garbage truck? Some people can stay behind the traffic, behind the car, and it stinks. The only thing you need is to wink, make a right, pass it, and go your way. Don't become stuck behind the garbage truck. Your negative thoughts are your garbage truck. Either you stop and let it go and turn, or just bypass your garbage truck. Otherwise, you cannot be entrepreneur and you cannot help yourself.
Thanks, Avi. Bjorn says, he said about better use hemp for paper, toilet paper, furniture, cheaper,
True.
longer, more sustainable. Okay, now, Avi, I'm going to just share how they can contact you through the page and how they can watch the episodes. So I'll hide you for a little while and I'll come back to you again.
And thank you guys for listening. I hope it helped.
Yeah, but stay on the line because I'll invite you back again. Just like in any other episodes, you can visit effectiveasianleadership.com, click on the Leadership During Crisis page, and you'll come to this page where you can basically see all the various different episodes. And then from there, click onto Avi's episode, click on Watch Now button, and then you'll come to this page here, which shows more about Avi, his background, as well as how you can contact him through aviliran.com itself. And for the episodes, because we have in total 30 episodes in this Leadership During Crisis series, so for better categorization, we have uploaded the videos onto the Corporate Trainer Connect platform, which is learning.corporatetrainerconnect.com, which I'll put it onto the website, the Effective Asian Leadership website, where you can scroll down and you will be able to see the various different courses, and of which one of it is the Leadership During Crisis online summit series. When you click on it, you can sign up for it. It's still free. It's just that it provides a better categorization for us to put it into whether the episode is regarding personal emotional crisis or it's regarding the business crisis itself. So thank you. And then let me bring Avi back online. Hi, Avi.
Hi.
Thanks everyone for staying with us. And Avi, thank you for taking your time to share your valuable experience and insights on how you deal with challenges and how we should hustle and never stop hustle this period of time if you want to stay afloat and alive. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
See you.